Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be working on this work platform, elevated work platform. I found this online pretty cheap. It's basically 12 feet wide by 5 feet deep. It's got fork pockets in it already, so we'll be able to use this with a telehandler. We got some work on the side of a building, and we need to have multiple guys up there, so this will be a good option. It just doesn't have any railings, so we are going to fab up some railings today. I got a bunch of gas pipe here. We're just going to make it out of this. Got some plates for our bottom mounts that we are going to mount or weld onto here, onto these corners. I figured we were going to do a post on each corner and then a post on each fork pocket. And then in the center, I'm going to have a opening, chain gate style opening so you can access it. I think on two of the sides, one short side and then one long side, I'm going to make removable railings, just so if you need to load anything big at any point, you can take those railings off and utilize it that way. So first, I'm going to get our 8 uprights cut. Like I said, we got 10-foot sticks. They're threaded on each end. I'm going to go 40 inches on the railing. So I'll keep one threaded end, cut it off at 40 inches, and then we'll have to rethread because I'm going to put some caps on the top. All right, we got our 8 verticals cut out. We just need to get threads on this end. I think just so our threading die starts a little easier, I will kind of taper the very ends of the pipes just so. All right, all of our pipe got it cut. Got the ends just tapered a little bit so it grabs a little easier. We're going to be threading with just this rigid 1-inch pipe die, pipe thread. I don't really thread enough pipe to justify a Milwaukee M18 pipe threader, but this manual one will work for now. All right, for these threads, the top side of the verticals are going to have a cap on there. I'm not threading that much just because threading 1-inch pipe with a manual pipe threader is not the most fun you can have. I just really need the threads just to start a little bit. I don't even really need threads on there because I'm going to come back and weld all this, but I figured if I put a little bit of thread on there, it'll get my cap on straight and then make it a lot easier than trying to hold this cap and weld at the same time. If any of you guys need some crap safety glasses, I would suggest these. They have a little ridge at the bottom right here that collect all your sweat, so it makes it look like you're working underwater the whole time. Got all of our pipe threaded. We got my threaded ends up here, and then we got factory ends down here. We got these pipe flanges we're going to thread on here. I'm going to put the flanges on the factory ends just because they're better threads than what I did. So we'll get to that. Here's our basic layout for our vertical pieces. In the center section here, on both sides, I'm going to have chain going across here. So that'll be our entrance. I'm going to make it so, since the fork pockets go all the way through on both sides, I'm going to make it so you can pick up the platform from either side. Right here on the corners, since it's cut off at a 45, I want to try to get these verticals as close to the outside as possible. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to weld it in place on the rest of it, and then come in with a torch, heat this up, and bend this flap down, and then weld it down here. I'm hoping that stuff bends when you heat it up. I think it's just cast steel, but I've never bent those little flanges before. I wanted to get the verticals in before I do any welding. I'm dealing with some import pipe, and the threads are not always straight. The flanges are cheap, and the castings on them are pretty terrible, so they kind of wobble as you can kind of look down the line. I want to get all of these in vertical position before I weld them. So that worked okay. It kind of started to crack at the top when I was hitting it down after it cooled. It's still going to be stronger than just cutting it off, I think. I'm going to run a weld down here under the bottom, and I think I'm going to slice the grinder into that crack and I'll weld that across also. Should be pretty strong. All right, so all of our verticals and cross member pieces are 1-inch black pipe. The reason I cut this out of bigger pipe with a bit for the 1-inch pipe is so it'll still be notched around there, but then we'll be able to slide in our cross members, because remember we wanted to make two sections removable. So this will be able to slide in. We'll throw a pin in there, or maybe just a pin on the other side, because this side will be locked in. I'll show you what we're going to do on the other side. So here we got our basic design on how this will work for the removable rails. That 1.25-inch pipe I cut, welded it on there, and then this 1-inch pipe will slide right into there. Here on the other side, that pipe sits down in. So I think I'm going to pin all 4 connections, top and bottom, on each side, so that it can't go anywhere, and then that will continue. So this side here will be removable, and then this full side here also. So that's the only portion that we will have to do this design with. The rest of it, we can just notch our 1-inch pipe, and we're just going to weld directly on here going across, so we won't need any of the pins or anything. Alright guys, we're back in the shop today. It's Monday. A lot of welding to do. I really got to wrap this thing up. We got a ton of other work that I need to be doing. I got the rest of our cross pieces cut out with the pipe notcher. It's really a nightmare. I bought a Harbor Freight pipe notcher, and you only really buy it for one project just because it's Harbor Freight, but it worked okay. We got them all cut. Just a lot of welding, so enjoy. All right, we got everything tacked in place. I'm going to go through right now and just finish welding everything, and then after that we will get our pins put in place for both of our removable sections, this section here and then this over here. And then after that we'll get our chains put across our entryways right here. I think we'll just go with 2 chains across there, front and back, so you can fork this thing from either side.
That's what she said.
Excuse me?
That's what she said.
So for our retainer pins, we're going to use these 1/4-inch pins. Oh man. That should go right in there and then lock. I'm going to do them on both sides of this bar, because if I have any like uneven weight on the platform and it starts to spread, I don't want the bar to pull out of either end of this. So we'll pin it on all of our joints there. Alright, so for our gate section, I'm just going to put chain across here like that. I'm going to weld the chain to one side. And then for the other side, I just got these clips. I'll cut a chain link off of this and just weld it on here so it can clip right in. All right, we are all wrapped up with the fabrication portion. Right now, going to take it outside and get it washed up, and then we'll let it dry off for today, and then probably paint tomorrow. I got our chain rails put on here. I also added this to each side so that when you put your forks into the platform, you can then secure this to the forks so it doesn't slide off if this thing gets uneven or something like that. It'll stay secured to the forks. All of our pins are put in for our removable rails and posts. The posts just unthread out of here after you take off all the rails. It turned out pretty good. It should be a nice platform. So I just got to weld one more of these D-rings onto our telehandler that's going to be hauling this thing for that thing to clip to. So here you can kind of see the operation of the platform on the telehandler. The machine has frame sway on it, so you can see it there. Moving back and forth, so if you're on really unlevel ground, it'll get that platform back to level. Another thing that this telehandler has is fork sway, so you can see just the forks rotating now. So this will get you back to level from really uneven surfaces. One of the reasons we needed to use a telehandler with a platform versus our scissor lift with outriggers is that the area around the building is just really uneven and not ideal to get a scissor lift close to it. Even with the outriggers on there, we'd still have to do some cribbing just to get that thing to go up. So some of the safety features built into the telehandler is it has holding blocks on all the critical cylinders. So even if you had something like a hose blow on there, the platform doesn't just fall to the ground. It'll hold this thing in place. They're pretty safe. All of my harnesses have oversized hooks on them. That's the reason I didn't have to add any lanyard attachments onto anywhere on this platform. Here gives you a better angle at that frame sway on the telehandler. You can see that it'll level that machine quite well in pretty extreme conditions. So a little bit about the machine we're using. It's a 1997 Lowell 6,000 pound machine. It'll lift I think up to 42 feet, which is way more than we're using. We're actually only going to be lifting this platform about 10 to 12 feet up in the air. The lift's got foam filled tires on it, so it's really stable and you don't have to worry about tire blowout or anything like that. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment if you got any questions or anything. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe so I know this is the content you guys are looking for. Thanks again.